Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the PACRats. Ooh, it's a spooky special episode.
Not ooh.
A surprise upload on a Saturday. On the specialist spookiest day of the year.
Frankie, say the word right.
Oh, sorry, the specialist spookiest day of the year.
Thank you.
All Hallows Eve, or Halloween.
Ooh.
We've got some spoopiness up the wazoo tonight. We're talking haunted chairs. Haunted wine boxes. Haunted clay statues. Cryptids. We're gonna be talking about some of the spookiest things in the world that aren't real. Disclaimer: I think we've had this conversation before.
Are we not gonna introduce the rest of the pack?
We should introduce ourselves. Yeah, I didn't even introduce myself.
No, we don't need to introduce. We don't need to introduce ourselves.
No, we do need to do introductions because we have new names as of this time.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot.
So I am. It's Frankie.
Oh, it's it's Ian.
Wait, I forget what mine is.
And our new special guest. I have it. I have it ready.
Okay.
We have, as always, with us the third member of the PACRats, Old Man Jordan Ringworm Turner, the Giver.
Great book.
Hello.
Great book.
Jordan has been giving and giving this year. Jordan
None
gave
of
up.
it has been ringworm.
No comment.
Jordan's given up their birthday present for me.
It's true. I did. Specifically to Frankie.
Yeah, Jordan this year asked for the schools to close.
Mm-hmm.
Originally. And what did they say to you, Jordan?
They said, "Fuck no, we want your money."
Yeah. And so Jordan had to request a second gift. And what was that second gift?
That the semester for Frankie would be over on my birthday.
And it is. It is. My final ends on December 15th.
Wow.
So, and a wish come true. A wish come true. And Jordan giving that to me as the giver.
I did.
The one good thing. All right, Jordan, what are you giving me?
Oh, I only got one wish.
And they wasted it on that.
You know, not a proposal or, you know, anything.
Money.
Okay, but
well,
low key, I hate
well, this
it
turned
when
to
people,
sad boy
propose
hours.
to their significant others, on
Wait,
like
you hate
birthdays
what?
and holidays.
You hate when people propose on that day?
Yeah, like on birthdays and holidays, like fuck no, give it its own special day.
Like Christmas or something.
What's your problem? Yeah, I hate that.
It depends. It depends.
No, it doesn't.
I think it does. What if the person is like a really, really huge fan of Christmas? Like they love Christmas so much. And that just makes the day even more special. Unless they get divorced, then
I was gonna say,
It kind
what
of
like it
ruins
doesn't fall
the day.
through.
well then that ruins the day anyway. Like another day. That way you have less days ruined in the year.
Wow, sad boy hours are.
Consolidating. You're
Is it sad
consolidating.
boy hours?
No, not yet.
It's sad boy hours for me because I don't get a fucking
Oh.
wish.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Ian, I would say I'd give you my birthday wish, but no.
I'd
Yeah, I'll
celebrate
do it
my
next
fucking
year.
birthday in quarantine.
So did I, bitch.
Hey, mine's gonna be in quarantine. You think this shit's gonna be over by December 15th?
No, in fact, it'll
it's
be worse.
ending.
In fact, Jordan, it'll be worse on your birthday.
Oh no.
I mean, I am Jewish, so
All right.
I'm used to the
Um,
pikes.
We got spoopy things everywhere. Everywhere you look.
This is like nothing for us, huh?
And I think in the vein of Jordan discussing the Jewishness,
into the Jewishness.
of this, we should talk about our first haunted item. Y'all know what it is. Everyone, it's famous.
They don't.
Everyone is aware of it. I don't even have to name it. It's the Dybbuk box. All right, moving on.
I don't
then.
actually know anything about it.
No, Jordan
I have
doesn't
no
know anything
idea.
about the box. So Ian and I discovered the Dybbuk box watching everyone's favorite douchebag ghost adventurer,
Not a real Jew.
Zak Bagans. He has his haunted museum, and someone donated the Dybbuk box to him. It's
It's
a haunted
museum
object.
all the way in good old Las Vegas.
And so we're going to the Dybbuk box first. It was created by a Holocaust survivor.
Mm-hmm.
But where the story really starts is 2003, when somebody posted a wine box on eBay. That's what the Dybbuk box is, by the way. It's a very small wine box. It would hold about two bottles of wine, I presume.
I think so.
Yeah. It's a small wine box. That's what it is. And in 2003, somebody posted it on eBay. And this was the description that was given on eBay. Okay. And you guys just react how you feel.
Mm.
Yeah. All of the events that I'm about to set forth in this listing are accurate and may be verified by the winning bidder with copies of hospital records and sworn affidavits.
Swearing what?
Affidavits? It's a legal document.
I'm not a lawyer, Frankie.
But when you bought this wine box, you would get not only the wine box, but you'd get some documents and hospital records.
Just what I want with my wine, you know?
Exactly. A
So-
nice reading.
During September of 2001, I attended an estate sale in Portland, Oregon. The items liquidated at the sale were from the estate of a woman who had passed away at the age of 103.
Good for
A
her.
granddaughter of the woman told me that her grandmother had been born in Poland, where she grew up, married, raised a family, and lived until she was sent to a Nazi concentration camp during World War II. She was the only member of her family who survived the camp. Her parents, brothers, a sister, husband, and 2 sons and a daughter were all killed. She survived the camp by escaping with some other prisoners and somehow made her way to Spain, where she lived until the end of the war. I was told that she acquired the small wine cabinet listed here in Spain. It was one of only 3 items she brought with her when she immigrated to the U.S. The other 2 items were a trunk. I purchased the wine cabinet along with the sewing box and some other furniture at the estate sale. After the sale, I was approached by the woman's granddaughter who said, "I see you got the Dybbuk box," referring to the wine cabinet. I asked her what a Dybbuk box was, and she told me that when she was growing up, her grandmother always kept the wine cabinet in her sewing room. It was always shut and set in a place just out of reach. The grandmother always called it the Dybbuk box. When the grandmother asked her what was inside, her grandmother spit 3 times through her fingers, said a Dybbuk. The grandmother went on to tell the girl that the wine cabinet was never ever to be opened. The granddaughter told me that her grandmother had asked that the box be buried with her. However, since a request like that was contrary to the rules of an Orthodox Jewish burial, it was not honored.
Ah.
I asked the granddaughter what a Dybbuk was, but she did not know. I asked if she would like to open it with me. She did not want to open it, as her grandmother had been very emphatic and serious when she instructed her not to do so. And regardless of the reason, she wanted to honor her grandmother's request. I finally ended up offering to let her keep what seemed to be a sentimental keepsake. At that point, she was very insistent and said, no, you bought it. I explained that I didn't want my money back and that it would make me feel better to do what I thought was an act of kindness. She then became somewhat upset. Looking back now, the way she became upset was just plain odd. She raised her voice to me and said, "You bought it, you made a deal." When I tried to speak, she yelled, "We don't want it." She began to cry, asked me to leave, and quickly walked away. I wrote the whole episode off to the stress and grief she must have been experiencing. I took my purchases and politely left. At the time, when I bought the cabinet, I owned a small furniture refinishing business. I took the cabinet to my store and put it in my basement workshop, where I intended to refinish it and give it as a gift to my mother. I didn't think anything more about it. I opened my shop for the day, went to run some errands, leaving the young woman who did sales for me in charge. After about a half hour, I got a call on my cell phone. The call was from my salesperson. She was absolutely hysterical and screaming that someone was in my workshop breaking glass and swearing. Furthermore, the intruder had locked the iron security gates and the emergency exit, and she couldn't get out. As I told her to call the police, my cell phone battery went dead. When I got back to the shop, I found the gates locked. I went inside and found my employee on the floor in a corner of my office sobbing hysterically. I ran to the basement and went downstairs. At the bottom of the stairs, I was hit by an overpowering, unmistakable odor of cat urine. The lights didn't work. As I investigated, I found out the reason the lights didn't work also explained the sounds of glass breaking. All the light bulbs in the basement were broken. All 9 incandescent bulbs had been broken in their sockets, and 10 4-foot fluorescent tubes were lying shattered on the floor. I did not find an intruder. However, I should also add that there was only one entrance to the basement. It would have been impossible for anyone to leave without meeting me head-on. I went back up to speak with my salesperson, but she had left. She never returned to work. She refuses to discuss the incident to this day. I never thought of relating the events of that day to anything with having to do with the cabinet. Then things got worse. As I already indicated, I had decided to give the cabinet to my mother as a birthday gift. After 2 weeks after I made the purchase, I decided to get started refinishing it. I was surprised to find that the cabinet has a unique little mechanism. When you open one of the doors, the mechanism causes the opposite door and the little drawer below to open at the same time. Inside the cabinet, I found the following items: a 1928 U.S. wheat penny, a 1925 U.S. wheat penny, a small lock of blonde hair, a small lock of black hair, a small granite statue engraved and gilded with Hebrew letters, 1 dried rosebud, 1 golden wine cup, 1 very strange black cast iron candlestick holder with octopus legs. That's a weird design, but not the main point of the story. Not the main point. I saved all the items in a box to return them to the estate. The family has refused the items, so they will be included in the sale of the cabinet. After opening the cabinet, I decided not to refinish it. I cleaned it, rubbed it in some lemon oil. It was at this time that I noticed that there was an inscription in Hebrew carved into the back of the cabinet. I have no idea what it says or if it is significant. I have included a picture of the inscription below. On my mother's birthday, my mother called to tell me that she was going out of town with my sister for 3 days, and we postponed celebrating her birthday until she returned on October 31st.
Ooh.
Thank you for the effect.
You're welcome.
My mother came to my shop. We were going to have lunch together. Before we were going to leave, I gave her the wine cabinet. She seemed to like it. While she examined it, I went to make a phone call. I hadn't been out of sight for more than 5 minutes when one of my employees came running into the office saying something was wrong with my mom. When I went back to see what the matter was, I found my mom sitting in the chair beside the cabinet. Her face had no expression, but tears were streaming down her cheeks. No matter how I tried to get her to respond, she would not. She could not. Turns out my mother had suffered a stroke. Ian, this is the story we heard on the show.
It is.
But they only gave us like bits and pieces of it. She was taken to the hospital by ambulance. She ended up suffering partial.
Was this sold by this guy?
Yeah, this guy sold it. No, this is like the original seller. When people first started hearing about what the big box was, this guy sold it on eBay to, I think, the guy who ended up selling it to Zach.
But wait, didn't the guy on the show say that it was his mother?
Well, his mother also got affected.
Okay.
The box is affecting multiple people.
Okay. Carry on.
She ended up suffering partial paralysis and losing her ability to speak and form words. She has since regained this ability. Okay.
That's good.
She could understand things being said to her and could respond by pointing to letters of the alphabet to spell out words. When I asked her the following day how she was doing, she teared up and spelled out the words, "no gift." I assured her that I had given her a gift for her birthday, thinking that she didn't remember, but she became even more upset and spelled out the words, "hate gift." I laughed and told her not to worry. I told her I was sorry she didn't like the cabinet and I could get her anything she wanted if she would promise to get well soon. Still, I didn't associate anything that had happened with the cabinet itself. Frankly, I don't think I ever even used the term paranormal until this last month. I'll try to make this short now. Now? Dude, you've been going on.
Yeah, this is a long description for, what, eBay?
By the way, he does not make it short. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be quite frank. I gave the cabinet to my sister. She kept it for a week, then gave it back. She complained she couldn't get the door to stay closed, and that they kept coming open. There are no springs in the door mechanism, and I have never found that the doors come open. I gave it to my brother and his wife, who kept it for 3 days and then gave it back. My brother said it smelled like jasmine flowers, while his wife insisted that it put out an odor of cat urine. I gave it to my girlfriend, who asked me to sell it for her after only 2 days. I sold it the same day to a nice middle-aged couple. 3 days later, I found the cabinet sitting at the front door of my shop with a note that read, "This has a bad darkness." I ended up taking it home. Then things got worse. Since the day I brought it home, I began having a strange recurring nightmare. Every time I have the horrible dream, it goes something like this. I find myself walking with a friend, and at some point I find myself looking into the eyes of the person that I'm with. It's then I realize that there's something different, something evil looking back at me. At that point, the person I'm with changes into what can only be described as the most gruesome, demonic-looking hag I've ever seen. This hag then beats the living tar out of me.
Oh.
Not a bad way.
I have awakened. I'm then awakened to find numerous bruises on myself where I'd been beaten by the old woman during the previous night. About a month ago, my sister and my brother and his wife came over to my house and spent the night. The following morning, during breakfast, my sister complained that she had had a horrible nightmare. She said that she had recalled having it a couple of times before and went on to describe the nightmare exactly to the last detail. Or my nightmare exactly to the last detail. My brother and his wife froze as they listened and chimed in that they had both had the exact same dreams during the night as well. As we talked, it became clear that the common denominator that each of us had had the nightmare during the time the cabinet was in our homes. I called my girlfriend and asked her if she could recall having any nightmares recently. She described the same nightmare. I asked if it happened to me to be the night before she gave the cabinet back to sell for her. She said, "Yeah, hey, how did you know that?" Now it seems like all hell is breaking loose. For a week afterward, I started seeing what I can only describe as shadow things in my peripheral vision. In fact, numerous visitors to my house have claimed that they have seen these shadow things. I put the cabinet in an old storage unit and was awakened when the smoke alarm in the unit went off in the middle of the night. When I went to see what was burning, I opened the door and didn't see any smoke. However, I did get hit with the smell of cat urine. When I went back inside, the smell was in my house. This is all caps, by the way. I do not own a cat. I never have. I went back outside, grabbed the cabinet. I brought it back inside, tried to research it on the internet. While I was surfing the net, I fell asleep and once again had the same nightmare. I woke up at around 4:30 a.m. to find that my house now smelled like jasmine flowers, just in time to see a huge shadow thing go loping down the hall. I would destroy this thing in a second, except I really don't have any understanding of what I may or may not be dealing with. I am afraid that if I destroy the cabinet, whatever it is that seems to have come with the cabinet may just stay here with me. I have been told that there are people who shop on eBay that understand these kinds of things and specifically look for these kinds of items. If you are one of these people, please buy this cabinet and do whatever you do with a thing like this. Help me.
And then who bought it?
Wait, there's a couple updates.
Good.
So after that, June 12th, he has an update. There's no way I can respond to all the emails I've received. Since I put this thing online, I'll try now to update and answer the most common questions I've been receiving. I'm not religious. I do not wish to have to participate in any sort of exorcism. I will not sell any of the individual pieces. I do not speak Hebrew. At the end of the auction, I've decided to take an opportunity to speak with the winning bidder for 2 reasons. To make sure the winning bidder is a serious adult who has employed some valid reasoning skills in making this decision, and to offer full details of the events that have transpired. After it is mailed to you, I will have no further involvement with the matter in any way, shape, or form. Period.
He says, I'm done.
To all of you who have offered to pray, I may not be religious, but I am certainly open to the possibilities. 2 days later, he added more info. Here's another update. No, I will not circumvent or make any deals outside of eBay, even for more money than the final auction price. If you want to win the auction and have the kind of money some of you are offering, there shouldn't be any reason you cannot simply place your bid in an honest, open fashion. Also, for those of you wanting to know if I'm still experiencing anything out of the ordinary, I thought everything was going okay until I got home on the June 13th, Friday the 13th, by the way, and found that the fish in my freshwater aquarium, all 10, were dead.
Oh, jeez.
And so that's the Dybbuk box, the original story of the Dybbuk box. You may be wondering what, in fact, a Dybbuk is at this point. So the term Dybbuk first appears in a number of 16th century writings, though it was ignored by mainstream scholarship until a play called The Dybbuk
Theater
popularized the concept. Earlier accounts of possession were of demonic possession rather than that by ghosts. These accounts advocated orthodoxy among the populace as a preventative measure. For example, it was suggested that a sloppily made mezuzah or entertaining doubt about Moses' crossing of the Red Sea opened you up to Dybbuk possession. Very precise details of names and locations have been included in accounts of previous Dybbuk possession. Rabbi Yoel Teitelbaum is reported to have supposedly advised an individual said to be possessed to consult a psychiatrist. Onsky's play, The Dybbuk, is a significant work of Yiddish theater and has been adapted a number of times by writers, composers, and other creators, including Jerome Robbins, Leonard Bernstein, and Tony Kushner.
for what?
I don't know. In the play, a young bride is possessed by the ghost of the man she was meant to marry, had her father not broken a marriage agreement. There are other forms of soul trans...
Is it Fiddler on the Roof?
Oh my god, what if it is? What if Fiddler on the Roof is based on the Dybbuk?
Oh, fuck.
Tradition.
So,
Tradition.
there are other forms of soul transmigration in Jewish mythology. In contrast to the Dybbuk, you have the Iber, meaning impregnation, which is a positive possession, which happens when a righteous soul temporarily possesses a body. And it's always done consensually. So that the soul can perform a mitzvah. You also have the Gilgul, which literally means rolling. It puts forth the idea that a soul must live through many lives before it gains the wisdom to rejoin God. In psychology, the Dybbuk has been described as a hysterical syndrome. So the Dybbuk box, again, like I said, it's a wine container that is haunted by the Dybbuk, a malicious mythological demon from Jewish folklore, said to hold the power to invade and possess a body. Like I said, 2003, Kevin Manis, that whole story I just said. He sold it on eBay, and there were quite a few ownership swaps. It landed in the hands of Jason Haxton, the director of the Museum of Osteopathic Medicine in Kirksville, who paid $280 for it in 2004 on eBay. Haxton then is the man we saw on Ghost Adventures.
Oh, okay.
Sealed and buried the box somewhere in Missouri before selling it to Zak Bagans.
Mm-hmm.
Haxton says he isn't fazed about the box resurfacing since the Dybbuk's unfinished business, he believes, is now finished. So the idea of the Dybbuk is that it's an evil entity that stays around because it has unfinished business.
Okay.
He's even written a book about it saying, I feel the prayer is answered, he told me. In fact, Haxton now thinks that the Dybbuk box's energy is reversed. And he now calls it his own personal fountain of youth. Since 2003, Dybbuk boxes, you can find them commonly on eBay and Etsy.
Okay.
Prices of them range from $40 to over $400. And it even inspired the 2012 Sam Raimi film, The Possession. In 2012, paranormal investigator Tim Wood paid about $20 for a box he got on eBay. And he said he bought it before they became the trendy it item. And even though his Dybbuk box came with instructions never to open it, he went ahead and did it anyway.
Well, of course he did.
He also filmed it. He said he has experienced hauntings manifesting as shattered glass and rancid smells, which resulted in him resealing the box and burying it in an undisclosed location in California.
Okay.
But he has also said it's hard to tell which Dybbuk boxes are fake and which are authentic because there are so many people are selling.
Hmm.
These are the ways you find out if it is a real Dybbuk box. It has to come with a good backstory.
Okay.
It should come with certified documents signed by a rabbi. If you're warned that to under all circumstances to not open it. EMF readings don't hurt. And also, if the box contains creepy pictures and locks of hair, that's also a good sign of authenticity. But also, that means you have to open it to find out. So,
Yeah.
Yikes. No, thank you.
he has also said that he has deduced that if the box is covered with melted wax, even though that is a fun accoutrement, that is probably a fake. He also
It's more
said
of a witch thing than a Jewish
thing. Yeah. He also said that if you do open it and you're overcome with the smell of urine,
Hmm.
see dark amorphous specters whose entrances are complete with electric zaps of light, then you're on the right track. He has said there's only one Dybbuk box. Any other box is a load of crap. But there are people who think there are more than one Dybbuk box in existence.
Okay.
So like we said, Zak Bagans has acquired the box that we had the big long discussion about that was sold in 2003.
Hmm.
He says that shortly after its arrival, mysterious protruding holes began to appear in the walls around the artifact, as if something was trying to break out from within the exhibit. He's also said that he's experienced black shadows, fainting, feelings of sickness, anger, anxiety, and more.
Okay. I'm trying to find the work that's like from with Jerome Robbins.
Yes. They've also said there are actually 10 Dybbuk boxes in the world. Each
10?
one aligns with the Tree of Life concept from Kabbalah, the basis for Jewish mysticism. Zak owns 2 of the 10 boxes. He has recently acquired a second, smaller one. It's said that all evil from the 20th century, including World War II, the Korean War, the Khmer Rouge, and more, are contained inside the 10 Dybbuk boxes, and that by opening the box, it will summon all of this evil.
So Zach caused Corona. Thanks, Zach.
8 of the 10 boxes are accounted for. Zak owning 2. The other one in California. That's 3 of them. I couldn't figure out where the other 5 were, unfortunately.
Okay.
But there are 2 of them that remain unknown location. So we have 2 different competing thoughts. The thought that there's only one real Dybbuk box, and that's what Wood has in California, or the idea that there are 10 Dybbuk boxes, 8 of which we know where they are at, 2 of which are lost. But we do have another haunting we should talk about from the Dybbuk box. Someone very near and dear to all of our hearts has been affected by the Dybbuk box. I am, of course, referring to famed rapper Post Malone. Post Malone was, in fact, cursed by the Dybbuk box. So, apparently, he went to Zak's Haunted Museum. They went down to the Dybbuk box room. Zak has the Dybbuk box beneath a case. They removed the case. They felt something weird. They left. They heard noises coming down from the basement where the Dybbuk box is located. They went down. Zak touched it. Got all weird. Post Malone touched Zak. And so the curse of the Dybbuk box transferred itself from Zak into Post Malone. And afterwards, he was involved in a plane emergency where 2 tires of his private jet blew out on the runway. Then his old house was broken into. And then a week after that, he was involved in a car crash when his Rolls Royce collided with another car. Here's the thing, though. I don't feel bad when in the sentence of your car accident it mentions you have a Rolls Royce. And I think that that is all the information I have on the Dybbuk box.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are skeptics of the Dybbuk box, me among them. Hello. But also Chris French. He told an interview he believed that the box's owners were already primed to be looking out for bad stuff, and if you believe you've been cursed, then inevitably you explain the bad stuff that happens in terms of what you perceive to be the cause.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he would be happy to own the Dybbuk box. Would I be happy to own the Dybbuk box? No, it's probably a really old box. I don't want it lying around the house. But... So that's the story of the Dybbuk box, guys.
We love that.
How do we feel?
I kind of hate it.
Are you scared?
No.
Are you scared?
I mean, I wouldn't want to see it, but like, I hate it.
How do you feel that it comes? How do you feel that it comes from your religion?
I mean, considering everything that's been done to Jewish people. I feel like it's like it was coming.
So before I bring you down again with another haunted object, let's bring the laughs.
Okay.
On a spooky factor though. This is Halloween. On a spooky factor, how spooked are you? On a scale of 1 spooky to 10 spookies.
What? 1.5 spookies.
That's 1.5 spookies?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, y'all know
I
me.
don't feel moved.
What do you mean moved? What do you want, a tear-jerking story? What the fuck?
Yeah.
This guy was beat up by an old woman in his dreams, Jordan.
And so what? I had a dream that someone was digging around in my womb with a needle last night.
Whoa! Whoa.
Yo.
That's too far.
What do you mean it's too far?
You've gone too far. This is supposed to be a nice, wholesome episode about ghosts and murder and
Ghosts,
demons.
you mean because you don't believe in ghosts?
Yeah, I can. Oh, we didn't talk about that. I was going to talk about that at the beginning. Yeah, I don't believe in ghosts.
Black asshole.
All of these stories I'm telling you, I don't believe in any of them.
Oh, meanwhile, I'm checking shit.
I don't believe any of these things happened. No, I mean, I believe that these people had nightmares. Sure.
But the same one?
It's not that uncommon. Dreams are one, so subjective, and for some people hard to remember. So if you're suggestible enough, you'll say, yeah, that's the dream I had. And dreams are pretty common. That's why we have people who like supposedly interpret dreams of like, oh, what does this dream mean? It's because people continually have the same dreams over and over again.
The ones about like your teeth falling out.
Yeah, exactly.
Hate those dreams.
It means you're self-conscious.
I thought it meant that you're unhappy with something or whatever.
It's usually like you're unhappy and self-conscious about your appearance. The
Hey,
teeth thing.
That's me.
But yeah, so I don't believe any of this. I believe that like I don't doubt that these people believe this actually happened to them. I'm not going to say that they're crazy people, but like, yeah, I don't believe it. Do I hate people like Zak Bagans who like kind of take advantage of this kind of stuff? Yeah. And make money off of it? Absolutely. But
Oh yeah, you hate Zach so much.
I think I hate him a little less than... Well, it's fun to hate on Zach because he acts like such a douchebag sometimes.
Mhm.
But like, and I don't know if Zach does this, but there are ghost hunters out there who go to like individual people's houses who think they're being haunted, and like it's just like to take advantage of a family or people like that. Of people like that who actively prey on other people's misfortunes, all under the guise of, oh, you're being haunted and I'm going to stop it.
Mhm.
That really upsets me.
Okay.
And so,
So
I
it's just
shit.
other people.
What do you mean?
So it's just other people, not like the actual, like, believing in ghosts.
No, I don't think that if you believe in ghosts, you're insane. I just don't believe in ghosts because I don't think they're real, and I don't think there's any actual credible proof of it. Now, there are some people who believe in ghosts, and I think they take it too far. Like, they blame all of their misfortunes on a ghost or a curse or whatever. Nah, life is shitty sometimes, guys. Believe
It do
me.
be like that.
It do be do, you know?
Be dooby dooby. Wow.
But
Throwing it back to our Scooby Doo episode.
I'm not gonna like mock someone for believing in, like, you guys believe in the ghosts, right?
Yes.
Yeah, more or less.
So I'm not gonna like mock you for that. That's a
Yeah.
belief you have. I just don't share in it because and some of the things, I think Ian and I have found this out because we've been watching ghost shows together.
Mm.
A lot of the evidence that Ian finds credible, I don't find credible, and that's just a personal thing. Or it's like Ian can hear something that I can't, and I have bad hearing, you know. So
Oh, some of it I'm like, I can't actually hear it, but that's also just due to the quality of the audio.
yeah, sometimes it's just dog shit quality.
But I'm not gonna lie, some things I just like, Frankie, look, because I'm like, because it's just me egging you on.
I know, but like sometimes, like a couple of the things we saw last night, you were like, "Yeah, this is real," and I'm like, "I don't buy it," but like, I did concede on a couple of points
You did.
where I was like, "Listen, if this is all the evidence they have, this is the best they've gotten so far."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, off from the well, not from the offset, I guess, but like all these the other story I'm going to tell you tonight, I don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other story I'm going to tell you though tonight is kind of ridiculous, so I don't think you two would believe it either.
Right.
Okay.
We like the ridiculous ones.
I do like ridiculous, because the ridiculous ones I'm like, okay.
Yes, I was going to tell 3 stories, but I might save the other one for our next Halloween special.
A 2-parter.
Well, no, not a 2-parter episode, like next year.
Yeah, okay. I can't wait
No,
a
the
whole
one-
fucking year.
The one I'm going to do tonight, the other one, is the Devil's Rocking Chair.
Oh no.
Or the Devil's Chair.
Oh.
Which involves a real court case, and a real murder.
Oh, is that the didn't BuzzFeed Unsolved do this?
Maybe.
Isn't this
I
the
don't
one
know.
where the woman caught on fire?
No.
Like spontaneously combusted?
Ian, no. We're going to get into the really spoopy realm. But before we do that, we have another spoopy thing for you to talk about.
Okay.
For us to talk about. I've been promised Tales of a Cryptid.
Oh, it's not that exciting.
Jordan,
It's just like one of my favorite cryptids.
Jordan, can you let me hype up the episode? Can you let me...
What?
you let me-
Here, let me give you something to work with.
Can you let me sell the episode to the viewers
Okay,
who
let
are
me give you stuff to work
40
with.
minutes in already?
It's a cryptid that is like from the hemlock forests of northern Pennsylvania, so it's like a local cryptid.
Can we go hunting for this cryptid?
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I'm terrified of cryptids, I'm not gonna lie to you.
All cryptids?
Yeah.
Okay, I need you to describe this cryptid before we go hunting for it, because like if it's, I need to know if I can fight it.
I mean, it's big. It's very Pokemon-esque.
Big, hairy, and pink.
It's not hairy.
But like, if it's like a melon head, I can just kick the melon head across the
Oh my god,
field.
I hate melon heads. This thing's pretty ugly. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hmm.
Would you just want me to tell you about it?
Yeah. What were you gonna do?
I don't know. So it's called a squonk.
I already love it.
It's called a what?
A squonk. It's spelled Squonk. You want to
I
look up
gotta
a
look
picture
up
of
what.
it?
Yeah, I gotta look up what it looks like. Viewers at home
Um,
also look up what a
I'm on the
squonk is.
cryptid wiki, so you can see the picture I'm looking at. He's pretty fucking ugly, and that's
Oh
part
wow,
of.
this thing's hideous.
I'm not looking it up.
You should.
It is like an ugly pig.
What'd you call me?
Because um, but that's part of the squonk. The reason I love the squonk so much is part of its thing is that it just mopes around and is constantly upset because people make fun of its appearance.
Me too.
Now I know why Jordan
Um,
likes this thing. Because Jordan can just bully it.
There's really not much. It was first found. Well, not found. The first written accounts of it are from a book that this guy named William T. Cox wrote called The Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods. Yeah, it's like there's really nothing crazy about it. I just love him. It's just ugly. Its whole thing is just that it's ugly. It's more of an honorable mention than me telling you about a cryptid.
Oh.
I don't think that it's actually like hurt anyone before. They're just ugly. That's it.
You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. The squonk. It's just ugly. Jordan, we had
I
talked
guess
about.
a cool thing is that it can just dissolve in its own tears. It's like a defense mechanism. Which, like, same.
That's amazing. I would love to find a squonk.
Me too. Well, ta-da! I'm a squonk.
All right, when are you gonna disappear into your own tears?
At the end
Are
of
you
this
there,
podcast.
baby?
What was the other thing we had an honorable mention earlier?
Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember.
Because I was giving you a preview I was going to talk about,
Is
and I
it
said
some kind of painting?
Oh yes, honorable mention to the fact that Zak Bagans also has a painting made of Charles Manson, made out of Charles Manson's ashes.
I hate that.
Yeah, I know.
Want to tell everyone how we know it's his ashes?
Yeah, how do we know it's his ashes? Because Zak Bagans was at the funeral of Charles Manson and filmed it.
Of course he did.
What a classy guy.
I love you, Zach. Please fuck me.
I hate you. I hate you, Zach. Please fuck Ian.
Sounds about right.
All right. So we have one last story tonight, guys. Are you ready for it?
I don't know.
Yes, tonight we are indeed talking about the Devil's Chair. Now, where does the Devil's Chair come from? Well, it comes from where all good horror stories come from. Everyone's favorite con men, Ed and Lorraine Warren. So, we all know Ed and Lorraine Warren from the Conjuring series,
And Amityville Horror as well.
and Amityville Horror, and Annabelle, and The Nun, the Conjuring Cinematic Universe, the CCU, the Cuckoo, you might say. Yes, this is one of their other case files, and this is going to be the plot for The Conjuring 3. So you all are going to get some spoilers for The Conjuring 3. How about that? Exclusive to the PACRats or Wikipedia if you look it up. But the Devil's Chair. What is the Devil's Chair? It is also known as the trial of Arne Cheyenne Johnson, also known as the Devil Made Me Do It case.
Oh, I have heard about this.
This is the first court case in the United States in which the defense sought to prove innocence based on demonic possession. So, in November 24th of 1981, in Brookfield, Connecticut, Arne Cheyenne Johnson was convicted of first-degree manslaughter for killing his landlord, Alan Bono. According to testimony by the Glatzel family, 11-year-old David Glatzel had allegedly played host to the demon that forced Johnson to kill Bono. How can you claim demonic possession when you're not even the one possessed?
I don't know how that works.
Anyway, after witnessing a number of increasingly ominous occurrences involving David, the family, exhausted and terrified, decided to enlist the aid of self-described demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren, who had already were noted for their investigation into Amityville at this time. The Glatzel family, along with the Warrens, then proceeded to have multiple priests petition the church to have a formal exorcism performed. The process continued for several days, concluding when, according to those present, a demon fled the child's body and took up residence within Johnson. Oh, that's how. Several months later, Johnson killed his landlord during a heated argument. His defense lawyer argued in court. That's what he did. He went whack. His defense lawyer argued in court that he was possessed, but the judge ruled that such a defense could never be proven and was therefore infeasible in a court of law. Johnson was subsequently convicted and served, but he only served 5 years of a 10 to 20 year sentence. So let's get into more detail about this story. So, Arne Johnson and Debbie Glatzel provided first-hand accounts for their version of events in an episode of Discovery Channel's show A Haunting.
Oh, I loved that show.
So, during the interview, they claimed to be... I had never watched the show. I watched this episode and did a little transcript of some of the stuff and copied the Wikipedia in here, but I did watch the episode.
It's for a low-budget show, it's pretty good.
It's not bad. It'd be a show that I would watch just, like, while I'm doing things around the house.
Mm-hmm. I used to watch it all the time, every day after, like, middle school.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What a time to be alive.
Like, come home, turn on Discovery to watch it.
So, during the interview, they claimed to be eyewitnesses to demonic possession, and both were adamant in their support of the Warrens' recollection of events. They asserted that paranormal activity began after they went to clean up a rental property they had just acquired. David recollected that an old man appeared, pushing and terrifying him. The couple initially thought David was using the old man as an excuse to avoid cleaning. Mm-hmm. But David informed them that the old man had vowed to harm the Glatzels if they moved into the rental home. David's version of the old man included the man appearing as a demonic beast who muttered Latin and threatened to steal his soul. Although the family allegedly heard strange noises, coming from the attic. No one but Adam ever saw the old man. After David experienced night terrors, exhibited strange behavior, and obtained unexplained scratches and bruises, the family called upon the services of a Catholic priest. The family concluded that the house was evil and would no longer continue to rent it. David's visions worsened, occurring in the daytime as well. 12 days after the original incident, the family summoned the Warrens to assist. Lorraine allegedly witnessed a black mist materialize next to David. Debbie and her mother told the Warrens they had seen David being beaten and choked by invisible hands and that red marks had appeared on his neck. David started to growl, hiss, speak in otherworldly voices, and recite passages from the Bible or Paradise Lost. The Gladswells good book, by the way, good book. The Gladswells recounted how each night of a family member would remain awake with David as he suffered through spasms and convulsions. After receiving a prognosis of multiple possessions, David was subjected to 3 lesser exorcisms. Lorraine asserts that David levitated, ceased breathing, and even demonstrated the supernatural ability of pre-recognition. In October of 1980, the Warrens contacted Brookfield police to warn them that the situation was becoming dangerous. According to eyewitness testimony, Arn Johnson coerced one of the demons within David to possess him. It is here that the show, A Haunting, veers away from the circumstances of Johnson's possession as described by those involved. Now, according to the show, Johnson egged the demon on during the exorcism and then was attacked rather viciously by the demon, which took control of his car and forced it into a tree.
Okay.
After this, Johnson returned to the rental property to examine an old well that supposedly housed the demon. In the dramatized version and his personal account, Johnson recollects that this was his final encounter with the demon while lucid. And it was after encountering the demon at the well and making eye contact that he became possessed. The Warrens claim to have warned him not to do this, although the warning is not mentioned in the show. As David's condition continued to worsen, Debbie and Johnson decided it was time to move out of her mother's home. Debbie was hired by Alan Bono, a new resident in Brookfield, as a dog groomer. Debbie and Johnson began renting an apartment close to her place of employment. After moving in, Johnson started to exhibit odd behavior, strikingly similar to David's. According to Debbie, Johnson would fall into a trance-like state wherein he would growl and hallucinate.
That sounds like me.
What'd you say?
So that sounds like me.
You just hallucinate?
Yeah, and growl.
On February 16th of 1981, I don't know what to do with that. Just like, I growl and hallucinate.
I do growl, but not like growl.
What do you mean?
I don't hallucinate. It's a sex thing.
The scariest thing that's been said all episode.
I don't hallucinate though.
I'm glad.
Usually.
Christ. Okay. On February 16th, 1981, Johnson called in sick to his job and joined Debbie at the kennel where she worked, along with his sister Wanda and Debbie's 9-year-old cousin Mary. Bono, the landlord and employer, brought the group lunch and proceeded to drink heavily. After lunch, they returned to the kennel. Debbie then took the girls to get pizza, but insisted they return quickly. When they returned, Bono became agitated. Everyone left the room at Debbie's urging, except Bono, who seized Mary and refused to let go. Johnson headed back to the apartment and ordered Bono to release Mary. Wanda recounted the following events. Mary ran for the car as Debbie attempted to mitigate the situation. Wanda tried in vain to pull Johnson away. Johnson, growling like an animal, then drew a 5-inch pocket knife and stabbed Bono repeatedly. According to Johnson's lawyer, Bono had suffered 4 or 5 tremendous wounds, mostly to his chest, and one that stretched from his stomach to the base of his heart. This was the first murder in the history of Brookfield, Connecticut.
Oh, wow. First time for everything.
By the way, this town was founded in... Let's find when it was founded. We gotta find it. History of Brookfield, Connecticut. It was founded in about 1800. It went 180 years without a murder. So the day after the murder, Lorraine Warren informed the police that Johnson was possessed when the crime was committed. And a media blitz soon surrounded the story, fueled in part by the Warrens. So Martin Minella, Johnson's lawyer, received calls from all over the world about what was being called the Demon Murder Trial. Minella traveled to England to meet with lawyers who had been involved in two similar cases. He planned to fly in exorcism specialists from Europe and threatened to subpoena the priests who oversaw the exorcism if they did not cooperate. The trial took place in Connecticut's Superior Court beginning on October 28, 1981. Minella attempted to submit a plea of not guilty by virtue of possession, but the judge rejected this defense. He argued that no defense could ever exist in a court of law and that it would be irrelative and unscientific to allow testimony. The defense then chose to imply Johnson acted in self-defense. Because of this, the jury was not allowed to consider demonic possession. The jury deliberated for 15 hours over 3 days before convicting him of first-degree manslaughter.
Ooh.
This led to the creation of a television film titled The Demon Murder Case, and another film which got stalled due to internal conflicts. In 1983, Gerald Brittle wrote a book called The Devil in Connecticut. Upon the book's republication in 2006, the Glatzel family sued the authors and book publishers for violating the right to privacy, libel, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Carl Glatzel Jr. said that the possession story was a hoax concocted by the Warrens to exploit the family and his brother's mental illness. His brother being David Glatzel, the original boy.
Okay.
He said that the publicity generated by the incident forced him to drop out of school, lost friends, and business opportunities. Lorraine Warren defended her work with the family, saying that the 6 priests who were involved in the incident agreed that the boy was possessed and that the supernatural events were real. And in 2021, there will be a film about it called The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. By the way, Johnson at the time of the killing was 19 years old. When he
The son?
No,
Or...
the guy who murdered Bono.
Oh, okay.
He was 19 years old when he committed this murder. Reportedly, David, the 11-year-old boy who was possessed, he was possessed by 43 demons. It's a lot of demons, I gotta say.
That is a lot of demons.
Is there that much room within the very small body of an 11-year-old?
I guess so.
Is it like a clown car situation?
I'm sorry, I'm picturing the demons wearing clown shoes.
Okay. The reason the demon possessed Johnson was during one of the exorcisms, he yelled, "Come into me, I'll fight you." Which is something I would yell
That is something you would yell, for sure.
during an exorcism. The reason the police listened to this story is because the Bridgeport diocese itself was involved. And the story from them was that the priests heard that the 11-year-old was sitting on a waterbed and was confronted by an elderly man with hooves, whose image was soon joined by men in grotesque costumes. So, from this story I'm drawing, you can't be possessed by demons if you're not in a waterbed. So we're good. We're all good, I hope.
Yeah, I've only been on a waterbed like twice.
I've never been on a waterbed.
Me either. It sounds terrible.
What if it popped?
That would be bad, right?
Yeah, because water would go
you can
everywhere.
suffocate.
Mm-hmm. The one of the reporters covering this case said, typical of the criticism of the Warrens are comments made by mentalist George Krissig, better known as the Amazing Kreskin, who argues that the Brookfield case is simply a means for the couple to prey on the superstitions of the public and build up their annual lecture revenue. They have an excellent vaudeville act, a good roadshow. It's just that this case more involves clinical psychologists than it does them. I love that this was said by, a mentalist who's also a fucking sideshow act. Yeah, apparently it was a very packed courtroom. 70 people were watching this trial inside of the courtroom. The one reporter, when they denied the demon theory, said, somewhere on the road to pinning a murder rap on Satan, Martin Minella got laywayed. I'm not going to allow the defense of demon possession, period. That was what the judge said.
Period, poo.
As soon as that happened, people stopped paying attention to the trial as much. They wanted to hear about the demons.
They were into those demons, huh?
What'd you say?
They were into those demons.
Mm-hmm. The police officer, despite being banned from using demons, the attorney did try to put 4 priests on the stand. And Ed Warren was also on the stand, just as a character witness, saying he couldn't believe that Johnson could murder anyone.
Mm.
The state never established a motive, which is one of the reasons he got manslaughter and not murder.
Okay.
Which, in a legal sense, for you guys to be aware of the difference here, in Connecticut at least, manslaughter means that Johnson didn't act with the intent to kill, only to injure.
Okay.
And he was released for good behavior. Just after 4 years of being in prison. Well, he was in prison for a little over 4 years. But damn, to go 100 and... Apparently I was wrong. It's 193 years without a murder.
Oh, he was supposed to be in there for that long.
No. That's how long the town went.
Oh.
He was only supposed to be in there for 10 to 20.
Okay.
But, yeah, apparently...
193 years for manslaughter.
Yeah.
I gotta say, good on that town.
Yeah.
They did good. Until they didn't.
But, yeah, so, what does this have to do with a chair, you might be asking? I don't know. I don't know where the chair comes into the story.
Could it be like the judicial, like, to the chair, like, because it actually went to court?
I don't know. But apparently, it's a rocking chair that inspired the upcoming Conjuring 3. So maybe there was a rocking chair in the house. in the rental property. In all the research, none of it mentions a rocking chair. But there is a rocking chair.
Now, did Zak Bagans buy it?
He absolutely bought the rocking chair.
Of course. Of course he did.
This is the last known update on the rocking chair. This is our Where Are They Now segment. The Devil's Rocking Chair. Where are they now? So Zak Bagans closed a new exhibit at his haunted museum after a series of visitors were dramatically affected, as was his own home. Bagans welcomed the new addition, a rocking chair from the Museum of Ed and Lorraine Warren that inspired the upcoming Conjuring 3 at the end of April. This is the first time Bagans... I think this was in 2019?
Okay.
This is the first time Bagans has ever closed an exhibit at his museum due to paranormal activity. The chair caused concerning reactions in at least 6 guests. He closed the exhibit because of the disturbing reactions to the chair, which has been known as the Devil's Rocking Chair. This is the first time I've decided to shut down an exhibit at the Haunted Museum due to multiple people being affected in connection to unexplained paranormal activity of the Devil's Rocking Chair. 6 people all shared the same disturbing, uncontrollable crying during the short time I opened the exhibit, one of them being a guest who also collapsed directly above the Devil's Rocking Chair on the stairs. Bagans clarified that the chair is housed directly under the stairs. Yeah, apparently it has caused a chain of emotional reactions and even an experience that Bagans and a friend had in his own Las Vegas home. So that is the story of the Devil's Rocking Chair. What do you guys think? Where are you at with that one? 1 to 10, babies.
I'm also not very impressed with it.
You're not impressed with the Devil's Rocking Chair?
No.
You're not impressed with people in grotesque costumes, 43 demons living inside of an 11-year-old boy?
That just means he has 43 friends, okay? That's more friends than I have.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's 43 more friends than you got.
Yeah.
But you're not impressed? You're not impressed by the Devil's Rocking Chair?
Mm-mm.
So what's your score?
Honestly, like, giving it a 1 is generous.
Wow. I mean, you gave the Dybbuk box a 1.5. So you can give
because that one was a little spoopy.
But you can give this like half points or decimal points. You got nothing? What are you gonna?
No, I'll just leave it at 1.
All right, Ian. What are you gonna give the Devil's Rocking Chair?
Gonna give it I'll give it a 9.
A 9.
I'm spooked.
A 9? What did you give the Dybbuk box?
You never got to me about that.
Oh, I didn't. What did you give the Dybbuk box? What are you giving the Dybbuk box?
A 9.
A 9. You're saying the Dybbuk box is just as scary,
Frankie,
as the Devil's, but the chair wasn't even involved.
Frankie, I'm chicken shit.
But Ian, where did the chair come in?
Frankie, I'm chicken shit no matter what.
Ian, I think Zach just said, look at this creepy looking chair.
Frankie, I'm chicken shit no matter what. I don't fuck with that shit.
I fuck with that shit.
I don't. That's why I'm super afraid of Ouija boards and shit.
Oh, I love Ouija boards.
No, I don't fuck with that.
Jordan, would you ever use a Ouija board?
No.
No?
No.
That's upsetting.
I don't fuck with that at all.
Hasbro's very upset with you.
You know what? They can be upset with me. I like Mattel better.
I can literally buy a Ouija game from Hasbro right now for $20. It's for ages 8 and up.
Well, Jordan is 6, so we can't play it.
Hey, I'm not 6.
How old are you?
I'm almost 22.
I'm 11.
Whoa,
so
I
shut the
thought
fuck
you were
up.
gonna. And this is the description of the Ouija board.
I have one in my attic. Fun fact. Along with the. Should I mention my biggest fear in life? Since it's a spoopy podcast tonight.
Yeah, what's your biggest fear in life?
I told you in the Cove, remember? Cam's
You
gonna turn it
did.
into a play.
Yes, you gotta share this story.
I'm not gonna share too much background.
Hmm.
But for reasons that the audience can probably deduce, there is quite possibly an urn full of baby ashes in my attic. And the attic is right above my bedroom. And I'm terrified. I hate it so much. And I told our friend Cam that if he ever needed play inspiration, he should hit me up. And he said, "What?" And I said, "But there's a baby urn in the attic above my bedroom." And he was like, "Oh my god, thank you."
Wow.
So keep your eyes open for that one, audience.
Yeah, keep your eyes open for a play about the ghost of a baby haunting a fully grown 22-year-old adult
It's true.
in their bedroom.
Mm-hmm. That I'm not gonna live in for much longer.
No. Man, I can buy a Ouija board on the same website I can buy Nerf guns
Yep.
and a game of Guess Who. But I think that's all for our Halloween special.
Yeah.
We'll bring this back next year. I have a list of spooky objects. Guys, I have.
Do you? You say guys as if you're not just talking to me at this point.
Well, yeah, we've lost Ian, but I have a list of 11 spooky objects left.
Whack.
Yeah, I have I don't want to name them, but like, yeah, I have 11 spooky objects just hanging about, ready to be discussed.
Hot.
But that is the end of our episode. Ian has been booted from our session here by
The
faulty
demons
internet.
got him.
Yeah, they got him. So we hope you enjoy your Halloween and your spoopy times. Remember to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitch, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us here on YouTube, like, comment, and share this video. Send us an email
Yes, I want your goddamn emails. I just
with
like, please.
questions.
I'll even
December
get drunk to
15th.
answer them. Whatever you want.
Guys, December 15th is Jordan Ringworm Turner's birthday.
It's true.
Give them a second birthday present.
Please. Since I used mine on Frankie like the giver that I am.
Give them a second birthday present of questions. An email with questions in them for them to answer and share some happiness with you guys.
Yeah.